Welcome back to our final video on this lesson on transformations of exponential and logarithmic functions, Algebra 2 class. We'll try to keep this one short. In our first example here, there are only two of them, we're going to be looking at an exponential function. We're going to start with a parent function that's exponential, 2 to the x, and we're going to try to turn that into some new g of x that has had a few transformations happen to it. First, it's going to be vertically stretched by a factor of 4. Then it's going to be shifted 11 units down, and finally it's going to be shifted 3 units to the right. So let's go ahead and apply those in that order. So if we have this original f of x equals 2 to the x, well, first I want to figure out what do I have to change in order to apply this vertical stretch by a factor of 4. Now how I'm doing this, I'm looking back at the notes I just took from the previous video and thinking, well, what do I have to do mathematically to get a vertical stretch? Well, to get a vertical stretch, I have to multiply by some number out front. So my new function g of x, I'm going to have to multiply, in this case, by a 4 out front. So a 4 times 2. I don't exactly know what's going to happen in this exponent yet because that might change. So we'll just leave it here for now. Looking at our next transformation, we also are shifting 11 units down. So in order to do that, I know that has to be a minus 11 way at the end. Right, shifting 11 units down has to be a vertical shift, so that's minus 11 way at the end. The last piece is this horizontal shift, 3 units to the right. So remember, these are the ones that change the parts that are near where x is, right? We have to replace x with x plus or minus something. So in this case, to go 3 units to the right, remember these are the ones that also do the opposite of what you would expect, I have to do x minus 3 instead of just that regular x. So walking back through that really quickly, this 4 here is what gives me my vertical stretch. The x minus 3 is what gives me the horizontal shift. And the minus 11 way at the end is what gives me that vertical shift. Looking at our second example here, we are now changing this up a little bit. We're going the other direction, right? In this case, I'm given g of x, and I want to figure out, well, what transformations must have happened? So we'll also be starting with a slightly different parent function. This time it'll be logarithmic with base 2. So I have to piece together what these different pieces of information tell me. So first I'm looking, I have this 4 way out in front of my entire function. So when I'm multiplying by something way out front, that tells me that I'm doing a vertical stretch. Again, looking inside of my function here, right when I have this x plus 1, that tells me that I'm doing a horizontal shift, right? I'm either going left or right because I'm replacing what used to just be x with x plus or minus something. And then if I'm adding or subtracting something way at the end, that's what tells me I'm doing a vertical shift, up or down. So in this case, the 3 transformations we have going on, I have this vertical stretch, in this case by a factor of 4, which means this thing is going to be 4 times as tall. I also have a vertical shift. I'm showing the same order we had in the last example. A vertical shift by up 5 units. And the last piece, so we did this. The last piece we have there is that horizontal shift. So I've got a horizontal shift. Remember, these, again, do the opposite of what you would expect. So x plus 1 there is actually telling me that this shifts to the left by 1 unit. So those are some quick examples on how you can either identify what transformations happened or apply some transformations to get a new function.